This morning I put a poll on my Instagram asking what you guys wanted to see because I'm in a little bit of a dilemma right now. So my options were to start on like the Porsche engine and also do some of the aesthetic things on the Mustang, or I can make a video about doing the wheel bearings because inevitably the wheel bearings need to get replaced on the Mustang. It just rolled 100,000 miles and literally as soon as I hit 100K, the wheel bearings started squeaking, and I've been putting it off for a little bit, and I really shouldn't because it's not good for your car if you just let them wear out like that. So I put up the poll, and to my surprise, about 65% of the followers on Instagram wanted to see a video about replacing the wheel bearings of all things. So today's video, we're gonna be giving what you guys want. And if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me over there at Kaidan Odom, so that way you guys can be part of these little things that I do every now and then. But today's video is about the wheel bearings. Alright, so I got the wheel off, and you guys can see how well my my ricer paint job is holding up on here. This makes me kind of sad because I even put like the high heat resistant primer and the high heat resistant paint and clear coat, and it's still chipping off. So that kind of sucks. I didn't even know that it was chipping off though, because you can't even really see it under the wheel right here. So it is what it is, you know. They're just OEM brakes. I'll probably replace them at some point anyway. But we're making progress. So now we gotta pull the caliper and the caliper bracket off and get the rotor out of here, and then we'll be like almost there. Actually, it's pretty easy. Got it. Now you can replace these, but they are reusable, so I've been trying to keep this in as good a condition as I can. So I was just being gentle with the mallet, trying not to break it or anything. So I'm gonna reuse this cap. However, the spindle nut is not reusable, so if you're doing this at home, make sure you don't reuse the stock spindle nut because you gotta replace it. There we go, wasn't so bad. I should also mention that the spindle nut uses a 36mm socket. I'm pretty sure that's fairly universal. I'm sure there's other spindle nuts that are different sizes, but this is so common that it's actually called a spindle nut socket. So pretty sure for the most part they're 36mm, but just look at your car's specification. I had to buy this. I know there are some places where you can rent a socket like this, but the place local to me didn't have one. So I just went ahead and bought it. It was like $13 or something. So with any luck, this will just pull right off. Oh yes, look at that. Came right off. Sometimes they will get seized onto the spindle and you'll have to like use a claw mechanism to like pull it off, or just heave on it a little bit or heat it up. But fortunately for me, this just popped right off. And of course we got the all new parts. Just some good old AutoZone warranty action going on here. And this guy just... There we go. You might have to fiddle with it a little bit. Make sure that you get the little ABS thing all the way back to the edge. I'm not exactly sure what that's called. It's like an ABS sensor, wheel, dial, gear. This guy right here, make sure you get it as close to the heat shield as you can. It should go all the way up against it. Hey, how's it going? And of course, as I mentioned before, you gotta replace the spindle nut. These are like 10 bucks at the store or whatever, but you can't use the old one because they're one-time use. They're one-time use because there's a couple flat spots right here, and that's so that way when you tighten this thing down, it actually shapes into the shape of the spindle because it's pretty hard to tighten and you have to get it super tight. You have to torque these down to 221 foot-pounds in my case, but of course if you're not doing this on a Mustang, that's not gonna be your spec, so you'll have to look out for that. As you can see, once I tighten it down to hand tight, these little flat spots right here are gonna grab onto the spindle, and so you'll need to use a wrench. Oh, my socket just fell off. You'll need to use a wrench to tighten this all the way down and then of course torque it to spec. Once you get it snugged up, you'll be able to go ahead and grab the torque wrench. I went ahead and rented one because my torque wrench only goes up to like 100 foot-pounds, and I need one that goes over 200. Boys, I just realized I made a mistake. I put the wheel back on, but I forgot to put the freaking cover back over the spindle nut. Damn it! Make sure you don't forget that. Haha! Jason.
What do you want?
Can you hand me the spindle socket, the big boy over there?
Where is it?
I think it's on the torque wrench. Actually, you could just bring the torque wrench over here with it on there. Sheesh. Oh Lord, okay. We gotta put our backs into it. Actually, don't put your back into it. Put your, I don't know, your schlong into it.
Put your cock into it.
Put your cock into it. Oh God. Sheesh, this thing's tight. Ugh. Yes, sir.
He said.
This thing's tight. Oh God. Shut up. Sheesh, this thing's tight. I got it. Please just slide off like the other side. Yeah! No hammering, no jaw pulling, no bullshit. Let's see what we got here. I know what we got here, but let's open it up. Think fast. Oh! It pinched me. Asshole. Got it. We're chilling.
Asshole.
Yeah, he was being an asshole. He really didn't have to pinch me like that, but he did. Same situation as the other side. Just good old spindle nut. And then it would get stiff. Good. And take your ratchet. You want to teach this spindle nut a lesson. Get it about hand tight. Look at your finger for a little bit because it still hurts from being pinched. And you want to take the torque wrench that you borrowed from Napa Auto Parts because AutoZone sucks and they didn't have one. And then we're going to deadlift 220 pounds.
220 pounds?
This is 221 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh.
And I got to pull it straight up. I guess I could push it down, but where's the fun in that? We got to see if I can deadlift 220.
It's also like deadlifting at an angle too. It's not even...
Well, it's pretty much a deadlift. Well, it's not 220 yet because I'm still tightening it. Got it. Hopefully I could deadlift 220 pounds. What do you guys think? Think I could deadlift 220? Probably not. I'm not gonna forget the cap this time because last time I had to take the wheel back off again. I'm just gonna pop this guy on there. All right. Rotor. Make sure you get all the dust off your rotor. Just spank it a little bit. Just give it a good spank. And grab your caliper bracket. And then the two bolts that you set conveniently on the ground in the dark. I like to put my entire head inside the wheel well. Sometimes I feel like that helps if I can look right at what I'm doing. I mean, that seems like it would be obvious, but a lot of times I see people like way out here and they're just kind of cross-threading the bolt without realizing it because they didn't watch themselves put the bolt in. So, you know, it's okay to get cozy. You can always take a shower if you get dirty. Yeah, so you just want to tighten that down. Take your socket, righty-tighty. I'll find it. There it is. I'm sure there's torque specs for these, but I've always just done nice and tight, or good and tight, whatever you prefer.
Ugga-duggas.
Yeah, just a couple ugga-duggas on there. So, I don't have an impact, so I'm kind of estimating my ugga-duggas, but you guys get the idea. You might also need a piston compressing kit. I have one, so I didn't think to mention that. But you might need one. God, I'm a terrible YouTuber. Like, I can't do tutorials. This is definitely not a tutorial. But I bet you there's somebody with a Mustang out there. Ow! I bet there's someone with a Mustang out there that might have to replace their wheel bearings pretty soon that's subscribed to this channel. And I hope that maybe this is useful, or maybe you just got a kick out of it because I'm miserable. I hope that watching me struggle is entertaining. Now that you've compressed this bood boy, you're just gonna, the heck does this even go on here? Like that. You're just gonna, yeah, just also teach this a lesson with your hands. Don't be afraid to get in there, give it a good smack, what I do. Oh yeah. You want to take your 14 millimeter if you have caliper bolts that are 14 millimeters, or if you don't and you want to grab whatever size is in your league. Tighten these boys down. Do it efficiently. Do it smart. Yeah, that'll do. And the bottom one, I'll get it. There it is. I didn't record myself doing it, but make sure that when you guys finish up and get the wheels back on, make sure you torque them back down once you set the car down, because if you don't torque them, you can damage your wheels and you can damage the hubs and all that stuff. So don't forget to torque down your wheels. It's really important. All right, guys. So at the beginning of this video, I briefly described the problem I was having with the wheel bearings, and then the next day, things were kind of weird with the car. So basically, the reason why I replaced the wheel bearings is because I've been having this really bad squeaking sound that is only related to the speed of the car, and it's not related to engine RPM. So please don't tell me that it might be an idler pulley, because I know it's not. I figured that it was the wheel bearings because I had already replaced the rear ones, and the car had 100,000 miles, and so the front ones, I knew they were getting old anyway, so I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and replace them, and hopefully that fixes the problem. So initially, right after I replaced the wheel bearings, the squeak was still happening, and I was like, ugh, damn it, like, what the heck? So then the next day, I came out here to try to record the sound to put it in this video, and of course, I couldn't get the car to replicate the sound. So if I see it come up again, I'll do my best to record it, but it's just so frustrating that, like, when I try to get the sound to happen, of course, it decided to not. So maybe I fixed it, probably not though, but I'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop. I'm about to start recording the next video. I'm going to be working on the Mustang a little bit more because I need to get it ready for Cars and Coffee that I'm going to tomorrow. So got a couple more Mustang videos coming in the near future, and then as soon as the parts come in for the Porsche engine, I'll be sure to dive into that. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and dream big.